Welcome to another episode of Den Excelsior. This is the live weekly podcast discussing the latest Marvel happenings across all media. But we've also been known to stray off topic from time to time. If it's super powered, we'll discuss it here. My name is Dennis, and we're going to be recording this episode right now on Friday the 14th, 2021. But, if you're listening later, that's when we did this. I have a distinguished nerd panel with me, as always. First up, he finally watched episode 2 of Invincible and still doesn't like it. It's Frank.
I'm plugging right along. I'm making good time. When did that show come out?
Like in freaking February or something.
Show came out in February.
March. I think it came out in March.
All right. 2 episodes down. 1 more to go.
It came out like a week after Falcon and Winter Soldier started.
Oh, wow. I'm way behind.
Yeah. A week or 2, something like that. Yeah. All right. Streaming from his old pad because he missed that bad internet so much. It's Ricky.
For some reason, porn is just not the same. It's not the same.
Oh man, that is bad internet.
You couldn't have timed that so
yeah.
They couldn't have timed that better.
I need that perfectly, didn't I?
360p porn. Leaves more to imagination.
Thankfully, we have another person to talk to, so we don't have to listen to that. Apologies if that gets really bad, Ricky. As long as you can click the buttons, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
I know my place.
But yeah, we have a special guest. He's returning from last week to join us one more time to talk about old movies and all the other Marvel stuff going on. It's Clarke.
Huzzah!
Welcome back.
There he is.
Yay for old movies.
Yay. Yeah.
Yay.
Old movies during a pandemic. I can't think of anything better.
It was like 9 years old now, that movie? 10?
Actually, yeah, 2011.
Actually, it barely. We'll get to that, but yeah,
we'll get to it.
We will be. I think what everybody's talking about is we are going to be discussing Ghost Rider: Spirits of Vengeance today. Spirit of Vengeance, which originally
just one spirit.
Technically, yes, one spirit.
Yeah,
technically 2011, but really 2012 is when that movie came out. But before we get into that, we're going to talk about news and rumors, and we'll have a brief chat on a nerd topic of my choosing. As a reminder, this is also a chance for you to pick our brains with any Marvelous trivia or points of confusion that you may have. We'll be checking the comments throughout the show, so hi if you're in the comments. And for those of you that can't get enough of us, you can visit patreon.com/denxmedia immediately after this broadcast ends for our live post show, The Soapbox, where we wind down and talk about the stuff we didn't get to around in like the first 1.5 hours. These guys like to talk a lot, so the soapbox goes.
It's still good
longer.
stuff. Like, don't think it's the leftovers.
It's really it's. I mean, it's a mix.
It's like
of
leftover
leftovers
macaroni.
Yeah,
it's still good.
No, it's like leftover macaroni put in the toaster oven with a little bit extra put on, so it has that little crunch that gives it a little different flavor.
I would say
that went too long, but
you're both underselling it. It's an excellent experience where we talk about this. You trust me, everybody gets looser. It gets weirder, but it gets funnier too.
That's when we really kick it into high gear.
Well, that's why we do it.
The Spanish Armada came.
That's why we do it, because every time we ever hung up on the or ended the broadcast, Frank would suddenly become even more magical, and I'm like, man, we got to record this.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just wanted to get all of that out of the way, and I'll hope that somebody turns their phone off while we're recording the show.
Yes.
I just wanted to get all that out of the way first, so that we could just talk about whatever. So, like, we don't have to go into the news first. You guys can tell me about your week. Sorry, Ricky, you weren't here last week. You were on vacation. How was that?
It was fun. I was in deep in the heart of Texas, and no, it was cool. It was cool to go see some family. I hadn't been back in well over a year.
Yeah.
And newsflash, Texas, or at least the part that I grew up in, is still boring. So,
right.
I think
That's
when
not
are you there,
newsflash.
Dennis?
That's
20,
not news, man.
20 plus years ago now.
Your
When you came to
hometown
visit?
or Texas?
My hometown.
Yeah, I don't. That was a
I
long
mean,
time ago.
I went
That was
there
too
to go
long.
see some friends, and yeah, there's nothing going on in the middle of the week.
You go to Whataburger at least?
Oh yeah, I had me the Whataburger. I had me some barbecue.
Nice.
I had me all of the fried and fast foods. So, fun trip all around.
So you were done after day one then? You were done?
Yeah. I hope my father's not listening, but yeah.
Yeah.
He is listening. He's
Oh, well.
one of my new Patreon subscribers. Frank, how was your week?
It was all right. I've just been playing video games. I've been catching up on God of War. Well, not catching up, but I've been replaying God of War 2 and God of War 3. Kind of just for funsies. Like they've been on my trophy guide or my trophy list forever.
I'm assuming you beat 2 and then went on to 3.
Yeah,
You're
I
not
did.
like switching back and forth between the two. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't do it out of order like a weirdo. 2, I've actually never played 2. It wasn't on my trophy list. I beat it in like 4 days. Platinumed it in 4 days.
You've never played 2?
No, I played it, just not on PS3.
Oh, okay.
The PSP games, are those set in between 2 and 3?
They're one of them's a prequel between
prequels.
one of them's a prequel before 1, and the other one's between I think 1 and 2.
Oh.
Gotcha.
Because he talks to Atlas in one of them, and not Elijah Wood, but someone else. You meet Kratos' brother, Demos. But yeah, whatever. That's all I've been doing.
Cool.
Oh, and playing Enslaved, which is kind of a cool game.
Oh, I love
Andy Serkis.
Enslaved.
You like
That
it?
game. Oh, that game is fantastic.
Yeah.
That is a hidden gem.
Yeah, it's super underrated, I think.
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know. I've seen it on a lot of like must play lists.
You think it's rated?
Well, I think for
who's
anybody
the
who
female
played
lead in
it
that
will
game?
remember it well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Clarke? Anything fun going on this week?
Yeah, Destiny season 14 started, and I'm back into that. And it's funny. Like one of the reasons we left is because the story sucked so bad, and in the new way they're doing it, I'm loving the story of Destiny right now. It's actually really great, even though I do miss Nathan Fillion. But they are just knocking it out of the park, I think, in the story department of that. So I'm having a lot of fun playing it, and it still is one of my favorite games. Feels great, looks beautiful, and doesn't have people cussing at me every 10 seconds. So,
I mean, who are you playing with?
Yeah,
For reals.
no, I'm even talking just the NPCs. I mean, that's one of the things with Division. I love Division, but man, that game is a potty mouth.
Well,
I mean,
they get pretty
they're
passionate
we'll try and fill in for Division for you tonight.
That's right.
after the 2-minute mark.
Well, I guess I was the only one that did anything remotely superhero-y. On request of a friend of the show, Travis, I finished watching Jupiter's Legacy. That show sucked. Like I hated it. I hated it all the way through, but I insisted on getting through it. I did it. It just never did anything for me. So if you tuned in to come chat about that, because every now and then we get somebody who comes in and is like, "Are you going to talk about Invincible?" And we're like, "No, I can't," because 3 people in the show didn't watch the episode.
Nope.
But if you're going to show up today and be like, "Are you going to talk about Jupiter's Legacy?" All I'm going to say is, "Yeah, it sucked." So I was
going to watch Invincible on my flight, but my flight had live TV, so I actually watched the Marvel basketball game, which is kind of cool. I know you guys talked about it last week.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think it was cool to see last week. Yeah, it was cool to see the Falcon cap is now like brand synergy. Like that is a new cap, and they're promoting him as such. I don't know.
Yeah, but you said that 2 weeks or a few weeks ago when you covered the Marvel news or the NBA thing the first time around.
I don't think they didn't have the images They just have the names they're
Oh,
using.
and I've definitely heard you say this before. Maybe you said it just.
Yes, I have said it before.
Well, I only got through one episode of Jupiter's Legacy, and I have no problem not finishing it. So thank you, Dennis. Thank you for your perseverance and then helping the rest of us to know you're done.
I will say this: I had a fun nerd conversation with a friend that passionately insisted that this show will get better next season because he's read the comics and he enjoyed the show because he's read the comics, so he knows, what's going to happen.
Doesn't mean it's going to get better.
Right, exactly. And so I was just having a fun, debate with him and just explaining, like, yes, what you're telling me sounds cool, but you have to understand that what you're telling me is not what was presented in the show. Like, here's what was presented versus what you're saying. Can you not see how that's not satisfying? He's like, yeah, that's true. Like, it's so. As much as I want to believe, like most often, whenever there's a bad Marvel movie, we're like, hey, maybe it'll get better with time. Like that's not the same thing as like saying, well, if I told you what happens in the next story, this will be better. No, that's not the same, because like, one, that doesn't mean it's going to happen that way, because everybody always likes to take liberties with stuff. And two, like
William Hurt.
The difference is yes. The difference in the Marvel ones is like, we have to say that because we're locked in. You can't miss a chapter, right? Like, we have to watch them all.
Yeah, we're already on the train.
We want to, we can't just skip, a Captain Marvel because like Brie Larson said something crappy. Like, we're still gonna watch it because we're gonna go watch Endgame a month later and stuff. So. All we can do is hope for the best. But with Jupiter's Legacy, if I don't like it, I can just stop because it's not connected to anything else, So
that's fair.
Makes it easier.
In sort of still comic related, for some reason, it came into my head again watching the end of Avengers and remembering that the shawarma restaurant that they go to is here in LA. And now the restaurants are starting to open again. I have decided that at some point this year, I will finally make the pilgrimage and go to Elot Burger on Pico, where they filmed the end.
Make a trip of it.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, maybe Joss Whedon will be working there.
Yeah.
Oh, hopefully.
Be.
Him and William Hurt.
That was a pretty good zing, I think.
I can grow a beard and then put a prosthetic over it.
Oh, I got that covered. Yeah, just sit there with your hands like that.
No, we'll need a Thor. You'll be the obvious Thor. Yeah.
So that'll be fun. I tracked it down and like, oh, okay, it's still there. They're still a little full of themselves, but I don't care. I'll take the pilgrimage, go once and have shawarma.
That's cool.
Where they ate.
Cool. It's quite the brave pilgrimage indeed.
It's one of the fun parts about living in LA is that a lot of the places where they film stuff are right here.
Doesn't a pilgrimage imply like religious intent?
Don't ruin this for him, Ricky.
Let him have it. It's just like, we're gonna let you have the news. You want to do it? You want to do
Let's do it. Wait, I'm a little rusty. Okay, man, right off the bat this week, we got hit with a brand new trailer for an upcoming Marvel film, Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, or it says Venom Let There Be Carnage.
We're calling that a Marvel film now?
Okay. That's from the Spunky universe or whatever.
Spunky.
The Spunkin.
What you guys
Spider-Man universe of Marvel.
Where did I think?
The Sony universe of Marvel characters.
Where to start?
I think that movie looked like it would have been good in 2007, just like the first movie.
I think that Cletus Cassidy's hair looked better than at the end of the Venom clip.
But it begs the question: who brought in a hairstylist between the last scene of the first movie and this new movie? You know what I mean?
Didn't they talk about it?
It's a prison. It's a prison work program. I'm not going to sit and defend.
I feel like they're already rebooting certain aspects of their own.
Yes,
like,
I know.
universe,
And Andy Serkis came out and did like a commentary on the trailer, and he basically is like, this is not tied into the MCU, but we take consideration of Venom's legacy, and it's like
I will say that Andy Serkis is the main reason why I want to see it, because I'm an Andy Serkis fan,
Same.
And I want to see how he directs, and so I will go see it. But yes, with the big, shaded glasses, I'm like, yeah. I mean, the same thing. The same thing with Venom. We went and saw Venom, weren't expecting much, and was pleasantly surprised because our expectations were so low. Going in with low expectations.
What was Carnage's haircut like? Did he have the Carly Morgenthau hair in the first one?
It was like Little Orphan Annie.
It was, okay.
But no, but it wasn't. It was like shaved on the side and then all the business up top.
It was
really curly.
It was a red chia pet.
It was like Kid and Play?
Or it was, yes.
Kid?
But chia.
No Play?
Mm-hmm.
Which one's Kid?
I don't know much about Carnage. Like, how much different is he from Venom in terms of power set?
Power set?
Same.
He's stronger.
He's stronger. It's power set wise, like, it's just different symbiotes like to do different things. Like, so
okay.
He's way more into making tools with his hands.
He's a tool guy.
Like, he likes to make like bladed weapons.
Yeah.
Weapons. Like, he likes that. That's his
like
thing.
the villain from the first Venom movie, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, in retrospect, he was the first new symbiote, in comics wise. So this is before they got to the whole world of symbiotes, and now they have a whole planet of symbiotes.
Yeah, it's kind of crappy this way because, like, in the comics originally it was just Venom and then just Carnage, so it made Carnage more special back then, like now. But now we're doing it in reverse order where we know about all the symbiotes and like we know there's more of them out there, and we know that Riot already came, and it's weird, but whatever, it's fine.
We're just gonna keep going backwards, Benjamin buttoning these things, and eventually it'll get to Spider-Man.
Yeah, by the third movie, the Spider-Man
will have it.
They'll all form into Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I'd be down if they looped this back into either like the Raimi verse or the Amazing Spider-Man universe. I feel like that's a easier get than having it come back to the MCU.
And then he just he just pops up, his little spider symbol shows up. And goes, oh, hey, I like that guy's symbol. Like, that'd be amazing. Oh wait, wouldn't it be 4?
It needs to do a lot more shape shifting to get to that point, but yeah, I didn't really care too much about the trailer or care for it, but it existed, and it's for a movie that's coming out. Like, is it coming out this year?
Yeah,
end of this year, and then only in theaters, as the trailer said,
September 24th.
Oh, I will definitely not be going to the theater.
Only in theaters. September 24th.
No,
speaking of stuff,
is Morbius still coming later than that? Because
Morbius got delayed again. Like, yeah,
but hopefully they wasted all the last 5 minutes of the movie in the trailer. That'd be great if everything we saw was just the last scenes of the movie.
I'm sure one of those shots was from the last scenes of the movie.
I hope not, man. I was just being sarcastic.
That's what you get. You're always sarcastic to the point where people don't know.
There was a time,
and then the genie listening grants your wishes.
There was a time where I was sitting on the couch and I'm all like, man, I wish I had some tacos. And then my daughter's all like, we do have tacos. It's in the fridge. I'm all, shit, that was the one wish. Like, Genie Kron he only flies above Earth.
In the fridge.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But it was my wish. Raw. That's what happens when you make a wish.
Ricky, anyways, what else you got?
Movies in theaters. On that topic, we got some new posters, actually, for Black Widow and the Loki series. But let's start off with the Black Widow posters. Some character posters. I feel like we've seen very similar things. But yeah, that's Black Widow.
Who's she?
That's Yelena Belova.
Florence Pugh.
My favorite. Rachel Weisz.
As I'm guessing an older Black Widow. And
then David Harbour.
U.S. agent. USSR agent.
Taskmaster.
And then that one doesn't even get a name on his freaking, like, they could have at least said Taskmaster.
Taskmaster, yeah.
He's the underworld agent.
And then we got this
It's
guy.
Sharon Carter. It's the
What? Who's that guy?
that's the guy. That's
probably the guy that's playing Taskmaster.
Okay.
That's
Through the power of deductive reasoning.
I still want to believe it's Florence Pugh, but it's probably this guy.
I think there'll be a turn, but yes, it is probably this guy. He will probably be in a Taskmaster suit at some point.
Mm-hmm.
We also got a Loki poster too, which you guys talked about it last week, but it's coming out on Wednesday starting June 9th.
Go. US agent.
Mm-hmm.
That looks really good.
Looks like a Doctor Who poster, to be honest.
It does. It does look like a Doctor Who poster. Absolutely.
There's a lot in that Venn diagram.
I'm still excited for it, though.
I like it. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Looks like it's gonna. I hope it leans into the weird. I hope it doesn't. Devolve into garbage.
Hey,
definitely.
Julia Louis said things are gonna get weird.
Hey, I hope so. I trust her.
I have faith.
Keep it coming, Ricky. What else you got?
Keep it going with some more Disney Plus news. EW released kind of their summer preview issue, and in it I don't know if it's a leak, but essentially they have What If coming in August. There's no set date, but August looks like when that's going to be dropping.
All right.
Which I'm pretty stoked on What If. That's kind of
very excited.
Yes.
I love those.
It just
books.
seems like it allows them to get weird, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, MODOK comes out next week on Hulu, and MODOK will actually be the first thing that Marvel Studios has put out like in forever that is not in the MCU universe.
That's a Marvel Studios thing?
Marvel Studios is producing.
Oh, I did not know that.
I don't think it's within their canon.
It's Marvel TV. That's what I'm saying. It's not in their universe.
Yeah.
It's not. It's the first thing not in their universe. But What If is really exciting because it's the next thing that's not in their universe. I mean, technically, even Loki still kind of is, right? Because he's like a branch off.
What
if is in the universe?
Yeah. Well, then you could argue that Loki's not, right? But like, but What If's doing completely, alternate universe versions of stories that we've seen. So each one of them is going to be its own universe that we get a new story from.
Right.
And
so Marvel Zombies is its own place.
Yeah.
And that's
so I'm just excited for MODOK and What If because we're finally going to just see what they can do when they're not beholden to the rules that are set up in the MCU.
Yeah.
Were those just like a series that came out, or was it?
No, it was a full comic series.
One of my favorites. Mm-hmm. One of my favorites. Yeah. What's your favorite, Clarke? I'm curious.
What if the Venom merged with the Punisher? That was a good one.
Oh, mine is What If Peter didn't get rid of the symbiote?
That's a good one too. Doesn't he? He dies, right?
Wow, both of ours.
No, well, he dies.
Venom.
It doesn't kill him originally, but I think he does die later.
Guess you guys are big Venom fans. You guys are gonna see?
No, I just like watching it go and eat the entire. The suit goes and eats the entire Marvel universe, and it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, eventually.
Eventually, it finds the Hulk and Thor, and it's like, whoa, those are way better.
I like the What If Someone Else Was Bitten by the Spider. It's like or by Peter Parker's spider. It's like 4 different stories in one, and it has like Aunt May getting bit by the spider, and Betty Brant, and I think Flash Thompson. Yeah.
Well, they build off those universes in the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. I think that's why I like them so much.
Yeah.
They have what if Spider-Man kept his cosmic powers?
Yeah, that was a good one.
So, by the way, What If comics, they also do write about characters that aren't Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
just for the viewers or the listeners.
What if we write about someone other than Spider-Man?
Yeah.
That was one of them.
Yeah.
No, there was a what if was it Daredevil was a disciple of Doctor Strange or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
It's really just like it's a common theme in comics, right? Like as much as they have like this set brand that they want to maintain and cultivate an audience for, every now and then the writers just want to take a shot at like telling the story a totally different way And so DC does it, Marvel does it, everybody does it, and when they get tired of their own story, they'll just reboot. So What If is just like a really fun excuse to just go crazy and do something really different. And I'm also excited because Hasbro has an entire wave of Marvel Legends planned for the What If series.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they have ones like, what if Jane Foster had found the hammer of Thor?
Found the hammer. Yeah, that was in series 1, right? Volume 1.
Yeah. What if Rick Jones had become the Hulk? Rick Jones is the guy that.
That's right. That's right.
That Bruce Banner saved instead of
Yeah.
That's like my favorite fan edit. It's like, well, what if Rick James became the Incredible Hulk?
Rick James is not Rick Jones.
What are the 5 finger side of the face?
What if the Phoenix had not died?
There was I like the later ones too, where it was like, what if Civil War, and it has like kind of Tony and Cap hashing out their differences at a key moment, and everything just works, and I'm like, oh, that's so heartbreaking.
My favorite one that I read not too long ago was, what if we move on to the next news topic?
Oh,
dang. You set me up. You confused me on that one because I was like, wait, you pretended like you didn't know they existed as comics, and now you're like my favorite one. That was no, it wasn't. It was a bad segue. But
that was great.
Bad segues. Shang-Chi. It's got announced that it's only going to be in theaters for 45 days. Basically showing that shortening that window from the theatrical release to video on demand.
Your internet, just for anybody who couldn't hear all of that, yes, the window will be closed on the distance between a theatrical release and theaters. 45 days. What do you think? I'm not really ready to weigh in on the subject, but I'm curious what you guys think.
On one hand, I want to give them my money so that I can let them know that this is these are the movies that I want.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I don't want to go to the freaking theater right now. Like, I don't want to go there.
But we can give them our money still on video on demand too,
Sure.
You can just buy it multiple times.
As the person who is getting ready and is about to go back into the theaters, and so maybe you might not see me next month. And I hope I am ready to go back. I am ready to go back in the theaters. I'm okay with this, though. Still, this was a compromise down from 90 days. The whole thing. But then they wanted 18 days, and the theaters were like, heck no. So this is the compromise in the middle. I think it does give enough time because what a lot of people don't know is like the way that movie theaters make their money normally is the opening weekend, the studios get all the money. They get like 90% of the ticket sales and stuff. But then after that, the next week, then that percentage goes down and down and down. So yes, the opening weekend, movie theaters only make money on all the popcorn and stuff they sell. But then if the movie's popular, they get more and more of a percentage. That's why they love Titanic, because Titanic kept making $25 million every single weekend for 3 months. Yeah. And by the end of that, the movie theaters were the ones collecting all the money. So it does cut the movie theaters out. And the movie theaters are barely alive. I mean, they miraculously survived. You kept saying AMC would be dead. Somehow they survived. And they're limping.
I mean, are you saying you as in Dennis, or you as in the people in the comment section?
I didn't think AMC is going to be dead.
You got very Fox News there.
But it's not going to be the same.
I was looking right into that. That's right.
It's never going to be the same again.
I mean, I feel like this was inevitable. It's just like the COVID situation helped accelerate this shift, Like,
yeah. Well, this is a bigger topic, because I still say that people like going to the theaters. I mean, there's a reason why Marvel put that reaction.
That's not a hot take, Clarke. Like, of course we know people like it's. But see, the problem is the way you're phrasing it, and I know we need to move on to other stuff. But you're framing it as though there's not another thing happening also, which is their lives are being put at risk. So it's not about whether or not people like movies. We're going to the movies. Nobody's arguing that. It's just a matter of like public safety, right? And so like as a reminder, these vaccines are only going to be useful for about 6 months. And so, hopefully there's not a giant spread that happens from people going back to the theaters. but we'll see. But the reality
maybe
is, like,
if there is, then we'll push that window back to 18 days. So
you think they'll have like
Maybe.
COVID sprinkles that you can put on your popcorn, like they do with the
yeah,
little
it's like
tahini?
MSG.
those
yeah,
are just going to come with it naturally,
Oh, perfect.
So,
perfect.
so yeah, I'm not. No one's arguing that like it's a fun experience. Like I miss it too. I really do. But like, I really appreciate that. We're still getting a lot of these really milestone moments delivered to the home because they understand that there's a mix of people that aren't comfortable going.
And I'm going to agree that yes, it's definitely changed. The landscape has definitely changed, but I'm glad that I think that theaters are still going to survive.
Like it's funny to think, like in hindsight, I'm probably spending more on movies. No, actually, no. That's
No.
trying to rephrase it. Disney now has, to an extent, Warner. They have a subscription service to their new releases. So like, I'm paying them if I don't watch the movie, either way, versus only paying them if I go see the movie. So it's a weird shift in their business models, and I think everyone's just kind of figuring it out and saying, what's that crossing point on that Excel sheet where everyone's happy,
Yeah.
So
think they use
Yeah.
Excel sheets at the Disney studios.
they
They don't have a proprietary software.
They have Walt's brain plugged in.
Excelsior sheets.
They just use Google Sheets. And they don't even like make
So they
it.
don't have to
don't
pay the
pay-
license.
Not even a business account. Yeah.
Screw all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, you think I made money? Huh? I'm really stoked about that concert, though, Clarke. I think I kind of want to double mask it and see that Tim Burton concert.
I bought tickets.
Oh man,
Rein him in, Ricky.
Right.
I
See,
missed
how
that
can I segue into this?
You just say, "Shut up, Frank."
Shut up, Frank.
Shut up, Frank. We're going to talk about Marvel Legends.
Can you say it not so hurtful next time, Ricky?
You asked him to say it.
That's fair.
You want to lead us through these, Dennis? We had
Darkhawk, cool. Darkhawk, new legend. Perfect.
No, I think a few weeks ago we showed off a couple figures from a new, like, it's kind of a wave. It's called like the Infinity Saga. Like they're just doing a bunch of special figures of characters that they never did before, or they want a second crack at doing. And so this, one of the ones that was announced today was Target exclusive. No, sorry, this is Amazon exclusive. It's Rescue, or AKA Pepper Potts, and Captain Marvel from Endgame, which
with the sash.
Yeah, we never got
the sash.
We never got that look from Endgame as a toy, and she even comes with like the Infinity Gauntlet, so she can hold it and you can do the whole female empowerment scene where everybody's like.
We got a rescue though, right?
You know what really stands out about this set though? Like you can play 7 with that Gwyneth Paltrow head right there.
You absolutely can.
That's fantastic.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
I think you've inspired me to do a picture as soon as I get this thing. It's gonna be a few months, but yes, we have gotten a rescue before in the wave that actually came out when the movie came out, but it was kind of a concept art situation where like the figure didn't quite match the way she appeared in the movie.
Oh yeah,
so they wanted a
detail on the back end.
Yeah, they just wanted a second crack at it because it just didn't look.
Are they going to do the magical War Machine 3.0 that suddenly appears, but not in the cut of the movie?
They already did that one.
They did that one already?
It's like an Iron Patriot thing, right? Yeah.
It's an Iron Patriot, yeah. Yeah, right. They actually had to redo War Machine because the original one they released was one that never appeared in Endgame. It's a completely different looking one, and then they're like, "Oops, our bad." And so, like a year later, they gave us the one that actually appeared in the movie.
Oh, they got this one, Foggy Nelson and Blood in My Stool Iron Man. Excellent, perfect.
Or Happy Hogan and the what is this? The
Mark 21.
It's Mark 20. It's Mark 21.
I know you'll buy it.
It's Mark 21. I'm trying to remember what this one's called. It's I like gold.
Taupe Iron Man.
No, it's supposed to be all gold. That paint and that plastic do not do that suit
gold
justice.
Fingers.
No,
it's
unfortunate, but yeah, it is the first figure ever of Happy Hogan. So that's pretty cool.
It's cool.
He deserves it.
You could be Foggy Nelson. You could pivot.
By the way, in case you guys were interested in either of those, they're already sold out, so don't worry about it.
I got those, and I got this guy.
That looks cool. That one looks awesome.
This is Mark III Iron Man, yeah, from the first movie.
Missile.
Yeah, I guess originally back in the day when the Iron Man 1 came out, the Marvel Legends line was actually on a hiatus, kind of on a break, like because they had just transitioned from Toy Biz ownership to Hasbro. So there actually wasn't a Marvel Legends line to support Iron Man when it came out as a movie. So they just made their own 6-inch Iron Man figures that are pretty close. But if you stand them up to Marvel Legends nowadays, they're a little short. They're just it's a little awkward because Iron Man you would think would be taller than most people, and so it just looks awkward. So it's fun that they're getting a second crack at some of the classic iconic Iron Man suits. And then earlier in the week we had Odin, who was announced. Odin, Anthony Hopkins. I think this is his look from the first Thor movie.
How do we know it's not Loki? How do we know?
If you could buy two of them and then stand them next to each other and play guessing games. Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah,
but it's actually the first time we've ever gotten an Anthony Hopkins Odin figure in Marvel Legends. So
that's cool too.
Kind of cool.
He's got his brown pants like Deadpool suggested. So perfect.
Yes, and then in case you've never somehow managed to get an Iron Man figure or a Thanos figure, they're repackaging them together, but they actually come with some cool accessories. Like they come with Tony Stark's like kind of beat up, about to die
burn
face.
Head.
The I am Iron Man snap.
It comes with the snapping hand. Thanos actually comes with a few cool heads. One of them is actually him turning to dust, like one of the heads that he comes with.
That's cool.
That looks dumb.
Yeah,
I like that facial expression here. That's the
they should have gone with the
in my
translucent plastic though.
He's not translucent in the movie when he's fading.
It looks weird, the painted one though.
No, it just looks like pieces of his face are missing, and it's got dust all around it. I don't know. I think it looks fine. But yeah, it's cool. And this Thanos also comes with the Infinity Gauntlet, the new Infinity Gauntlet, the Stark Tech one. So you can recreate all the scenes from the last movie, including him dying. Both of them dying, really.
Oh. That's not a legend.
No, I don't think there was more Legends.
That was it. I thought I had another picture of the Iron Man.
And there's supposed to be about, I think, 2 or 3 more announces.
Ironmonger, right?
Well, those are rumors. They're rumors. Yeah, they're all rumors. Nobody knows for sure what the next 3 are.
I like when Ricky's internet goes bad. That's hilarious. He's like, eep, op, orc,
Yeah.
They I didn't grab any pictures, but they also did release like the Lego Infinity Saga sets. Like they're doing the Endgame battle. They're doing a Milano.
Yeah.
What?
They're doing a lot of like model sets.
It's funny. It's just like it's a whole marketing campaign that's like, we need product out there. Let's remind people about the movie that came out 2 years ago, and all the ones before that, so it's cool. At least there's a consistency across the brand, Lego and the Hasbro, and everybody's doing the same thing at the same time.
It's cool. Next time I go to Disneyland, I'm just gonna hand Mickey my wallet and be like, just send me what you will. Send me.
Send him a direct deposit form,
and he'll be like, this isn't enough.
This is enough. Make more money. Oh man, Mickey,
give me your cash, Frank.
You're poor your money.
Gosh, Mickey,
you're broke. Gosh, Mickey, kind of hard on him.
We have some comic releases for this week. If you guys give me a moment, I can try to pull up the slide.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you were. I was like,
I thought he was about to do it. I'm all, he's gonna do it.
I thought you said you were done with the news, but you still got some more. Okay.
I'm all that crazy. Son of a gun.
Yeah. And for the record, from here on out, we can always have comic releases because it's just an easy, it's an easy thing that goes out. Oh, did we lose him? No, he's there. He's there.
I'm here.
We did prepare slides just to show you guys what the new releases are for the week. Every Wednesday, new comics come out on both physical and digital. This is for this week. So these all came out this 2 days ago. Wednesday.
Can you pull it up? It's not an easy way for me to pull this up without.
Well, you can't tell me to do it mid-show, but sure, I can.
I didn't realize you would full screen, take over my entire screen. I'm not rocking 2 monitors.
We told you this. All right. We'll move on. We'll do that later.
Okay.
You can get that up
segment's
or something.
gone.
Yeah,
Well,
we're
that's
killing
the
it this
news.
week.
We're gonna forget
Comic
about
books are coming out.
Yes, comics are coming out.
There's a comic books. Is it the King's Ransom miniseries, or did that come out? Is that coming out next week?
I think I saw that on the list.
Okay, yeah. So Spider-Man King's Ransom. It's him teaming up with Boomerang, his old enemy, to take down Kingpin. Looks pretty interesting.
I'll try and find I'll try and pull it up for you guys for
Is he
before we log out.
Well, Nick Spencer did a run that started in 2018 where Peter Parker, they kind of soft rebooted Peter Parker, and he became roommates with Boomerang.
Right.
And so like they've kind of been like kind of frenemies a little bit here and there. I don't think Boomerang knows his secret identity, but they kind of been as Spider-Man, he's kind of been frenemies with Boomerang, and they kind of go on adventures and stuff. And this is their like a little team up against Kingpin. So looks pretty interesting. It's cool.
I mean, I can go on a tangent here if y'all would let me.
Do it.
Spider-Man. I was thinking like, would it be? We got the Fantastic Four movie on deck.
Yeah.
What if they just lead into like Spider-Man as part of the Fantastic Four? Well, because that's how it goes for a while in the comics, right? After Johnny Storm dies.
I would love that. They had Spider-Man. The team that I would want would be Spider-Man, Hulk,
Ghost
Rider,
and Wolverine. The new
Wolverine.
Fantastic Four.
Yes. Yeah. Those guys are the biggest F-ups ever. Like, because they weren't really good.
And
Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
they sucked. They were horrible, and that's what I loved about it. And if they leaned into that, I would probably die happy. I would probably just off myself in the theater, actually, because it can't get any better than that. I think
same director, so I wouldn't put it past them to have at least Spider-Man show up in the Fantastic Four stories, because he is best friends with Johnny Storm, so it's kind of a thing, But I do have the comics available for you guys to see. Here you go, Frank and Clarke. Tell us which ones sound most interesting to you. Oops, I went too fast. There you go.
Oh god, definitely. The Spider-Man one that I mentioned, but I don't see it. Oh yeah, there it is. King's Ransom.
Giant.
Wondering how the Heroes Reborn is, because I know that's kind of a redo. I remember the Heroes Reborn back in the 90s.
It's actually not related to that one at all.
Yeah, they just took the name.
This is a story. It's a Squadron Supreme story.
Yeah,
that's right. Where they made Squadron Supreme the main. So
yeah,
I'm kind of interested, but I always wait until it comes on Marvel on the digital. So
we'll
definitely Silk was one that I totally forgot to put on my pull list. I want to grab it. I'm hoping that they do good things with Silk and not just make her like an F buddy to Peter.
I think the whole point of giving her own comic is to stop doing that, right? Like, so
that's what I'm hoping. But I mean, I'm not going to put it past anybody. There's also this one called what was it? Come back to me. It was
there's none of those collections that
you know what? Never mind. It was a DC book. They have a DC crossover. It's like Batman and Scooby-Doo, and it has like the Joker facing off with the Scooby-Doo.
Frank's having a stroke right now, just so you guys know.
No, it was crazy. It's called.
Did you ever read those like Hanna-Barbera DC comics?
Yeah, those things are cool. I love crossovers though, man. I'll watch anything crossed over. And that's one of the things that's on my pull list. And also they got a new Batman detective book out right now. It unfortunately doesn't have his Wang in it, but it does it is pretty good. It's a cool run. I think Kubert is one of the main guys on it.
There's more than one Kubert.
Oh, it's one of them.
Is it Adam or Andy?
I think it's
they're both good.
The one that starts with an A.
Andy. Yeah, it's Andy, and written by Tom Taylor, if you know who that is. A lot of people are kind of hating on it, but I think it's good. It's a fun run.
Isn't the guy from
Home Improvement? Yes.
Yeah, okay. Tom the Toolman Taylor.
And then here is the list of comics that are out right now on Marvel Unlimited, in case Clarke you're interested in that, or Frank, whoever wants to read these digitally.
Oh, see, Shang-Chi making his way up in there.
And then C. Cow Soda did have a question. I think we're going to say this is for Frank.
Which crossover character would be the best new F buddy for Peter?
Now that Silk is out of the question.
Gee, I don't know. if they're doing that thing where they wanted to make Peter pansexual or bi or something, that'd be cool to have
Johnny
like a dude.
Blaze.
Yeah, Johnny Blaze, Johnny Storm, or he's all like, "Hey, let's
Johnny
just try
Storm, yeah.
let's just try it out, guys. Let's just try it out." And then like afterwards, they'll be like, "It's kind of weird. Yeah, let's just be friends." And then that's how the series ends.
How did Johnny Storm die in the comics?
Oh man,
Which time?
We're gonna save Ricky. We're gonna save that for Soapbox because you're only allowed 4 questions per show, and you're already at your maximum.
Okay.
Just,
they also have. Oh, sorry. They also have a Firefly series coming out too, another Firefly series, and the comic books have been pretty good about keeping everything going and keeping Joss Whedon out of it. You know.
Yeah, but it's a Marvel print now, right? A Marvel.
I think it's Boom Comics, or
is it?
Is it Dynamite?
Because I know Marvel took over a bunch of Dark Horse stuff that they own.
Oh, that's cool.
Like they took over Aliens, Predator, and Star Wars. Oh, you know. So,
yeah, well, yeah, I've seen the Star Wars. That's cool.
Yeah. Cool. All right. I think we've waited long enough. It's time to probably. Oh wait, no, we do have a question of the day. See, this is why I got to slow you down, Ricky. Or I got to stop you because you just want to go in a million tangents. But we still got to get through our question of the week before we move on to Ghost Rider. I tried to keep it short. So I just wanted to know, and you're not limited to superhero movie. It could be TV or comic, whatever. But I just wanted to know, what's your greatest like superhero guilty pleasure and why? I would say let's go with Frank first.
Me first? All right. Definitely the Spider-Man clone saga. I think at the time Spider-Man was turning into like this dark character. They wanted this edgy, broody guy, and he would go by the Spider. And I thought it was lame. And when Ben Reilly started coming about, he brought back the lightheartedness and the fun of being Spider-Man. And it was really refreshing at the time. Looking back, it's probably not as good, but during the time, I thought it was a good moment to have. And yeah, nowadays it's my guilty pleasure.
I still love Scarlet Spider.
Yep.
Clarke, what's your greatest guilty pleasure?
That's a good one because I did always like the Scarlet Spider, but when you first asked me, my thoughts went to movies, and I have always had a soft spot in my heart for the Phantom, which yes. I will fully agree sucks, but I like Billy Zane.
Oh, that's great.
I love Treat Williams, and that was Catherine Zeta-Jones, one of her first big movies. But it's just, it's so silly. A guy dressed in a purple unitard communing with the jungle, and this is an old comic book, like back, it dates back to like the Flash Gordon serials and stuff, and the Phantom is part of one of my favorite 80s cartoon theme songs, Defenders of the Earth, which so I've always had I like the movie. I've had fun with it. I totally get if everybody else thinks it sucks, I enjoy it. And I like Billy Zane, who keeps having to play the villain. I like seeing him get to play the good guy.
Play the hero. Did you get those rings that they had at 7-Eleven?
No, but I know. Yeah,
those are cool.
Ricky, what's yours?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I have a guilty pleasure.
Well, we couldn't hear it if you did, anyways.
I mean, I enjoy Transformers movies. They are.
I think he said he enjoys the Transformers movies.
Like they're hot garbage. It's a bunch of cars and explosions, but you that's what you're in to see, and you get your money's worth. You get a long 2.5 hour movie of explosions and robots fighting. As terrible as they are story wise for people who care about Transformers, visually they're entertaining.
I will say, there was a time when I enjoyed those, but it wasn't a very long amount of time because with each sequel that came out, they just got so much worse, and not just like bad writing, but like offensive writing.
There's that whole underage.
No, you don't need to repeat all the things.
Well, did you like Bumblebee? I feel like that's one dependent on that.
It was too little, too late for me, is what that was.
Oh yeah.
I just felt like, because it still felt the need to be tied to that universe, and it's in a weird way, it's just just give me an actual Transformers that look like, you know, the ones that we know, kind of. Like, I don't know, they just, even Bumblebee, they just never wanted to give him a face, and they never wanted to let him talk. And it's like, why does Bumblebee need to be mute for some reason?
Voice actors are expensive, you know.
Yeah, that's it.
That's they couldn't afford it. Not with
they spent money on John Cena. So
Sea Cow Soda has a answer for this.
That's your guilty pleasure, is that many of your favorite characters are teen girls. Kamala, Molly, Gwen. I don't know if that's something to feel guilty about, though. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
That really highlights,
guilty about it. You're probably on a list.
I was gonna say maybe I feel guilty about it. Then maybe that highlights my guilt for liking teen characters like that.
Yeah, you should feel guilty about it.
All right,
it's a sexist thing. I will. Since nobody asked me, I will tell you my guilty pleasure that I came.
We were getting to you.
Getting there.
Eventually, you just decided to like hold off for me for a while.
We're going to do the 55-minute mark.
I want to just, it's a quick one. Swamp Thing 2.
Oh yeah,
dude,
that wasn't Heather Locklear, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. Okay, it was.
Oh man, you don't understand. Like, I started watching the show on HBO Max, the new show, the new series one, and no, I watched it on CW, I think, because it wasn't on HBO Max yet. And I wasn't digging it. It was kind of boring, and it just wasn't doing anything for me. And so, like, I was kind of bummed, because I'm like, I thought I really fondly remember one of the old movies being good, and I ended up finding Swamp Thing 2 was free on Prime, and so I loaded it up, and I was shocked at how much I still enjoy that movie. It is so fun to watch. If you've never watched it, go check it out. There's kid actors being silly in like every third scene. They lean on these kid actors to make it fun. Heather Locklear gets all these one-liners. She gets to just zing away all over the place. There's a love scene with a Swamp Thing. Like, it's got everything, man.
Heather Locklear eats someone. She eats his pickle though. Like, he gives her a pickle and she like eats it. Like, I remember that part. I'm like, yeah, my man.
Guys, if we're not selling it, I don't know what else to say.
Like, is it a cucumber or a pickle? Because that implies he had to like put it in vinegar and like he had to pickle something.
I don't know what he had to do to get that pickle going.
I don't know. But it's a fantastic, campy, silly, fun movie with action and comedy and like explosions, and very few people actually die, I think, in that movie.
I want to change my answer now. That's my answer now. Like, F the clones. I don't care about them anymore.
It's a fantastic movie. That just, like, I don't care how bad the writing is, you know, like, I just had fun watching it. So I think that's the segue that we needed to talk about our Spotlight movie.
Yeah.
Spotlight.
Sorry, we didn't spring for the extra cool graphics on that one. Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. I know for everybody that was waiting, you know, we're finally here. We were to the point that you were all waiting for, which is us talking about the sequel to a not great movie.
Yeah.
That kind of flew under the radar for a lot of people. Actually came out like barely. They did one release on December 11th, 2011, just like one showing, just to say, I guess, the movie came out in 2011. And then they actually did the full theatrical release of the movie in February of 2012. So technically the movie was already done and ready. So it's a 2011 movie. I think this came out 1 year before Avengers, guys. Like, that is
we're talking
pretty crazy.
Full into the MCU.
Fully into the MCU. This is actually the same year that Thor released, also featuring Idris Elba. So Idris was double dipping. He didn't care. This one is actually, I believe, a Sony movie. It's a Columbia movie. I saw.
Columbia.
Yeah. So back then, Sony still owned the rights to Ghost Rider. And after this movie was met with worse critical acclaim than the first movie, Nick Cage said, "You know what? I'm out. You guys are you're too critical about this stuff." He bounced, and then they never did another one again. And then the rights have reverted back to Marvel Studios since. But it's a movie. It exists. It's there, and we decided to watch it. For any of you that don't remember the plot or never saw it, a brief recap, I guess, spoilers. It starts with a French monk played by Idris Elba named Moreau, and he is trying to protect a mother and son, Nadia and Danny, from the devil's forces that are trying to track them down in Europe. So he decides he should probably go get Ghost Rider to help, like you do. He just knew a Ghost Rider was hanging out in Europe, and said, "I'm gonna go get Ghost Rider to help out." And
I had trouble when it was raining. Like I had to hit up Ghost Rider for an umbrella. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
send me an email.
I mean, if you know the Ghost Rider's hanging out in your country, why not go ask him for help?
Yeah,
and then we got Nadia. Her ex-boyfriend is this character named Kerrigan that apparently the devil, aka Rourke, has hired to go track her down because he knows her and
Nancy
whatever.
Kerrigan.
Yeah, and he wants his son because his son, Danny, is the devil's son also, and he's going to be using him as a vessel for his new body.
Yeah.
And
Danny Ketchum from Pokemon.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Moreau, he finds Ghost Rider and promises to help rid him of the demon if he helps protect the kid, because there's like a deadline that they have to, if the devil doesn't get him by this sunrise, it's too late and whatever, and then Danny can just go and be whoever.
Then he has to wait till next sunrise.
Then
he has to wait. Yeah. So Ghost Rider's like apparently been Ghost Rider for 8 years now, and is like, yeah, I would like to get rid of this demon, so I will do whatever you want. So he goes, joins up with them, kills a lot of bad guys, lights a lot of shit on fire, and of course saves the kid. And that's pretty much Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. Did I really miss anything significantly? Why? You guys let me know. What do you think?
No, I just finished this movie like an hour before we started the show, and that's all I remember. So
it's funny. I finished.
You're good.
When I did my watch through, I watched it during my breaks at work, and right before the show started and right after work, Joe Bob was doing his film festival thing that he does on Shudder, and it was Mandy, and Nick Cage was acting like just like he was acting all manic and crazy in Ghost Rider. It was like one of those like Wicker Man moments, like he's just Wicker Man levels of insane in this movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I liked him better in Mandy. I liked it better in Wicker Man. Ghost Rider didn't land for me this time, but I loved it in the theaters, which is weird. So we can explore that later.
This movie came out in like a time in my life where I wasn't actively going to the movies every weekend. So this is the first time I actually watched it, and
wow,
it's like Transformers. It was visually entertaining to see a Ghost Rider do Ghost Rider things, but I mean, I just don't like Nick Cage. Like I'm not of your guys' generation. I have never seen Con Air or The Wicker Man or any of his, I guess, better movies. He is a national treasure guy for me. So that national treasure guy just makes a weird Ghost Rider.
No, The Rock. The Rock's probably one of his best.
No,
says the guy who's always trying to cast like the wish list of famous actors for his MCU. Now he suddenly doesn't want the guy that's like national treasure guy.
It feels like this is like a what if movie. Like, what if Nick Cage played the Ghost Rider? Like, right?
I don't know if that's correct.
It's interesting that you say that, Ricky,
better.
Because in the first movie, Nicolas Cage didn't play the Ghost Rider.
Okay,
he played Johnny Blaze, and then they had a stuntman do all the mocap work for Ghost Rider. But this film, he does both. So in this film, he does play the Ghost Rider, which is why you see Ghost Rider moving.
He went full tilt with it. Like, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Like, sure. I felt like they could have gotten any other actor, a no-name actor, and it just would have been a better. I'll say better.
No,
it would have been.
I would have enjoyed it.
See, your problem is you didn't come to see Nick Cage be Ghost Rider. You expected Nick Cage to disappear into the role of Ghost Rider,
like the first movie.
Whatever. No, the first. You said like the first movie.
I know. I've seen the first movie.
I'll have you know, Ghost Rider does not go around eating jelly beans and doing out of like a champagne glass or a glass.
We didn't get enough of him going.
Yeah.
We didn't get enough of that.
Clarke, how did this whole movie hold up for you? I'm just curious.
All right. It actually held up fine because this is also one of my guilty pleasures because I know the behind the scenes and because the directors of this, and I know we're going to get into this more later, they're insane.
No,
you get into it now.
That's right.
There's no such thing
as that.
That's right. The directors of this are insane. They did a film with Jason Statham called Crank and Crank 2.
Wait, it is the Crank people?
Yes, these are the Crank people.
Holy shit! I was like watching
Neville Dean and Taylor.
This is
that's why the camera is like
it's totally
like
Crank.
And these guys, when they should get stuntman credits because they get on rollerblades and hang off of motorcycles to get those angles. I mean, if you see the behind the scenes stuff, it's mind blowing what these guys did. The scene where Idris Elba gets flown off the bike and is flying off of a cliff and he's still shooting but you're behind him is because the director was on the stunt rig behind Idris Elba and they literally flung both of them off the cliff on this giant stunt rig.
It looks a lot faker than it actually is. Like that's actually a real
They do a good shaky cam where it's not disoriented or you're not disoriented watching it.
I feel like suddenly Ricky likes this movie more.
Yeah, now you like it more?
Like I said, I enjoyed visually that movie. It's like the Nick Caginess of it is kind of where my issues lie.
And to me, it's almost like I look at Nick Cage, and this is like in his 50s, Nick Cage. You know, he's so clearly older when he does this, and but again, it's the craziness of the whole thing. The fact that they really do take it crazy. Having Christopher Lambert, you know, in it is the monk with all the writing on it, you know, which is just again let's have Christopher Lambert do this, you know. I know. With his voice, and I like the villain who becomes Decay.
The one Blackout.
Blackout.
Oh, Blackout. Blackout.
They call him. They don't call him Blackout in the movie. They call him Kerrigan.
Kerrigan.
Yeah, they call him Kerrigan,
he is Blackout. But
they actually literally like represent his power through blacking out the entire scene around everybody.
Right.
Which I thought was a really cool effect because they did a lot of cheap effects like that where it was either black screen or a white screen in the background, you know, like it just allowed you to like I did because I do photography and I know how hard it is to get something to pop against a flat background like that, you know, and I really appreciated how much Ghost Rider popped when he was against the white background because you know, putting fire on a white background is not. It's not good.
That makes sense. I never caught that. Why every time Kerrigan fought someone, he took him into the Matrix with him. Like that's cool.
They mentioned that briefly. That he takes them into the darkness, and and that's really effective when she's driving and she can't see because all she could see is them in front. Yeah, there's more talent in this film than the film deserves.
No. Yeah, there is, but they're not very talented in this film.
Yeah.
Like Christopher Lambert, Idris Elba, they're only here for a paycheck. And it's very, very clear that they only wanted that paycheck. I also like the Violante Placebo.
Yeah. Placido,
whatever her name is. She's an Italian actress. And I think she was the only one that was actually acting. Everyone else just wanted some money.
Man, I totally loved everything Nick Cage did in this movie, like all the way through. I don't think they did the greatest special effects on his face. Like, oh, perfect timing, Ricky.
Oh, that's great. That's great special effects.
I don't think that special effect translated as well, but that's why they didn't lean on it too much. Like, But I think
I let it slide because that was kind of a stylized sequence.
Yeah, and it's of its time, right? Like it's a weird thing they were trying. But all of the acting that he did in this movie, I had in my mind the old movie to compare to, and I hate that movie. It's so hard. That's why I didn't even want to watch that one. I don't want to watch the first one ever again because it's just like it was so far off the mark, like of what Ghost Rider is. And I'm not going to say this is 100% what Ghost Rider is, but I appreciated how much closer to the mark this movie was. So it's hard for me not to enjoy it because I have to compare it to what I know there was before. But yeah, I know it's not the greatest movie ever. And I definitely know that there's a better Ghost Rider movie somewhere out there that hasn't been made yet. But these crank guys, dude, they went balls to the wall in this movie, man.
Put in work for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the action in this movie is nuts. That.
Yeah. And I did like the Take On Me sequences when he was fighting Kerrigan in the Take On Me universe. That was kind of cool. But like, I just didn't know why until you explained it. Actually,
I love the design, the Ghost Rider design in this movie a lot more than the first one.
like the charred leather.
Yeah, it's a gritty look, but it's not like overtly gritty. It's very practical. Like, of course, that jacket's gonna be all burnt and scarred because it's a dude on fire wearing it, right?
You know, sorry to interrupt. See, Cow Soda, I'm not going to read you my list of questions before we record the show if you're just going to steal them and ask them. That's not fair.
Dennis is so concerned these days about people stealing his questions.
I can't even share them with my own wife, and then she just jumps in and she's like, I'm going to ask the questions that he wrote.
He's like a leprechaun now. He's all, I'm going to keep my questions to myself.
Yes, I'm going to. From now on, they're me pot of gold. Man, I ran these by her. She's like, those are good questions. You should, you should stick with those. And then, so we're moving on to see Cow Soda's question really quick.
Nick Cage. I would cast Nick Cage. I think he's a good actor.
If you could cast any current actor as Ghost Rider, who would you cast?
Definitely Idris Elba and Nicolas Cage. Actually, Idris Elba might not be bad.
Well, like age. I'm not too familiar with Johnny Blaze in the comics. Like, he's a younger dude, right?
I mean, it's all relative.
They're all pretty young. They're like in their 20s, I would say.
I think you could argue that he's really old, but like he's possessed by a demon, so he just doesn't age.
Okay, that's fair. I'll believe it.
Yeah.
Sure.
So who do you want? Who would you cast, Ricky? The Weeknd?
Again, that's another what if. What if The Weeknd played Ghost Rider?
Yeah.
I don't know.
24 karat golden.
All he knows is that he doesn't want Nick Cage to be
anybody but Nick Cage.
Yeah, that's clearly the answer.
Like, if you had, like we pitch in a Ghost Rider movie, you have 10 actors on the wall. Like, do you immediately go to Nick Cage for Ghost Rider?
You do in 2000. What was it?
11?
9 or
2009.
I think it
might have been 7. It might have been 7. It actually might have been 2007. You do in 2007 because
2007.
That's the best name you're gonna get, man.
And that was before Iron Man. So
that's the best name you're gonna get, especially for a role where there's no like take your mask off during this scene. Like, that's not really an option. You know what I mean? Like, he's just either all skull or not. Like,
well, he could have a yellow face mask and a hood, and then take it off, and then that'd be
whoa.
And he has the
National
chains.
Treasure came out after this movie.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god.
So you're just all biased.
Yeah, you've been sleeping on this movie.
Yeah. Clarke, if you had your chance to cast a Ghost Rider for the future of the MCU, who would it be?
Joel Edgerton.
Interesting.
Sure.
Kingsman.
Yeah. No, that's.
Wait. Joel?
The younger Kingsman, who is somebody who's young enough.
That is not Joel Edgerton.
That's not Joel Edgerton.
No. Okay, that's what I meant.
Egon Targaryen.
Oh, Egon Targaryen. Yes, that's right.
Egerton.
Eggsy, that dude.
Taron Egerton.
Yeah,
Taron Egerton.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I was thinking more a Zac Efron. I feel like he could do a cocky Johnny.
You Zac Efron for everybody.
Yeah, you literally cast Zac Efron for every role ever.
When did I cast him? What's my other role?
Oh my god.
He'd be great for Ricky's Spider-Man because then he could play all the clones in Ricky's universe, in the Ricky universe.
But I mean, even like a Joel Edgerton would be. I would sure if you're going to an older dude.
Hi, John Lover. By the way, we see you there. Don't worry, we see you.
Hey guys.
What about like an actual biker, like somebody from like Sons
Charlie
of Anarchy?
Yeah,
Charlie Hunnam.
I meant like an actual biker.
Oh, like one of the actual background people.
I meant like anybody from Sons of Anarchy that's not Charlie Hunnam. Charlie Hunnam is a horrible actor.
Norman Reedus, he rides a bike.
There you go. That's a good.
Norman Reedus would be okay.
I dig that
for Johnny Blaze. Yeah, and then have a younger Dan Ketch.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Dan Ketchum.
Yeah, Negan
would be good too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he'd be great. Yeah, he'd be really good actually.
Yeah.
Is he? He's not Marvel yet, right? He's got 2 DCs.
Not yet. Yeah, he's got DCs
2 DC.
all over the place.
Yeah, 2 DCs, right? Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, C. Calsoda did throw out a separate alternate question for you, just to scratch the one that she stole from me, which is, if you could have Nick Cage play any character in the MCU, who would he pick?
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Also, Ian Jones did share his pick for a Ghost Rider, which would be Danny Trejo. I kind of dig that.
That wouldn't be bad. That would be
Machete
cool.
Ghost Rider.
Okay, that would be cool for a different spirit event, like one of.
Don't be racist, Clarke. It could be Danny Blake.
Choose your words carefully, Clarke.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Danny Trejo would be great. Who would Nick Cage be in the MCU?
Danny Trejo.
No.
Yes,
he would play Danny Trejo in Machete. Who would Nick Cage play really well? Do you think? Or no, or who would he play really bad? Maybe like Venom or something. Oh wait, he's not MCU. Give me a second.
I was going to say
Venom.
Maybe Kang, but we're already getting a Kang.
You want him to be Kang. You're not happy with his Ghost Rider, but you want him to be Kang. This kid keeps me young.
I'm trying to see who
he wants him as Doom.
It's the problem is he wants him to have more
Nick Cage
lines.
Doom.
More lines.
Like
you'd be fine with a Nick Cage Doom.
Nick Cage Doom.
Yeah.
All right.
This is interesting. No more answers from Ricky for the rest of the night. Frank, what are you thinking?
Well, it has to be a current. She set the parameter of current MCU character.
Yeah.
So maybe like something like Ultron or Vision. I could see him as playing something. No, you know what? That'd be
he'd be pretty cool as Ultron.
Yeah, I think Ultron would be cool. That would be either him as Ultron or who was the co-star in Con Air? Malkovich.
Well, Danny Trejo's definitely in that for sure.
I think he would have been a good
Danny Trejo as everyone in Marvel. No, Malkovich would have been good, I think, for Ultron.
I promise you, it's only a matter of time before Danny Trejo's in the MCU.
You know, maybe okay. So Malkovich is Vision, and then Nick Cage as Ultron. Perfect cast.
Nick Cage as Whiplash.
Amazing.
Nick Cage as Whiplash. Is that what you said?
Yes, Nick Cage as Whiplash.
Mickey Rourke was like trash talking Marvel this week too.
Oh, really?
Sure. Let's go face swap him into Iron Man 2. Let's put Nick Cage in there.
Yeah,
I'm cool with
he's
it.
no stranger to face swapping.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Another question for you guys. What would you have liked to see happen had they done a third movie to follow this one?
More Mephisto.
Who's that?
Was the Robbie Reyes stuff already in play at this point?
No, Robbie Reyes didn't show up till later. Is that what you'd want? I mean,
not much later.
This
2012 is not.
Yeah,
Robbie Reyes wasn't that much longer because he ended up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. pretty quickly.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. wasn't till a while though.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was like 2013.
It was after Avengers, yeah. So it's still 2 years, 2 full years.
Not, yeah. I mean,
but Robbie Reyes,
it's not that long.
Robbie Reyes wasn't made till 2014. Like, it was
well, that would have been sequel time, right? 2012.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
if they would have had that hindsight and that brand synergy, that would have been cool to see.
Say whatever you could dream, Ricky, just dream it. It's fine.
Yeah,
like it can be whatever you want.
I mean, there's also Danny Ketch, who's the other Ghost Rider that was never touched at all in these movies. That would have been nice.
That's because Spacey wasn't in the movie.
But it would have been.
We're canceled, guys.
It would have been nice to see, another Ghost Rider. Like, so yeah, Danny or Robbie would have been cool, or a new one or whatever. Yeah, I think that would have been cool. What about you, Clarke?
I'm trying to think. I think having more of the like the mystical character, like we had Black. Was it Blackheart or Blackthorn? It was Blackheart, right?
Black Panther.
Blackheart was in the first one.
No, Blackheart's in the first one. The devil. We had Mephisto and sort of in the first one, and so. But doing more of those, you had Nightmare. You have the other demons that, and I kind of liked how at the end, how he remembers the angel part of him, and I think it would have been interesting having kind of more going down that history, and again having him trying to find, like he's always trying to find a way to get through the curse, but then he's also the spirit of vengeance and realizing, but he also helps people. Like that's one of the good things he says to the kid. He's like, I know we have these like basically demonic powers, but we can use them to help people. So, but I think having more, I like the big fights. I like having more of the demon stuff. So like having the bike go into space and fight a demon on the moon, that's Nick Cage level stuff.
Because see, my thing is like, I think this movie got panned a lot for like the story and the writing and all these things. But like, my question is like, what Ghost Rider story did people really want to see? You know what I mean?
Right?
What was the story that they needed and they went to the theater to go see and they were somehow disappointed from? Like, I mean, this is what he does, right? Like,
this is what we got.
Yeah.
So
I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I mean, they're just trying to inject a tiny bit of humor in there because, like, most of the time he's murdering people with a freaking fiery chain, and like
it's pretty dark. It's like a Garth Ennis book, so like it's usually something really bad has to happen.
Yeah,
I don't remember him talking much in the first movie, but it was nice to see him like kind of quit after he would kill someone in this movie.
I don't know about that.
I mean, it's similar to Punisher. This is like if you get mixed up with Ghost Rider, you're not going to survive, through this. So he is one of those anti-hero, or like, he's a hero, but it's the dark, exactly as you said, the darker side of the Marvel universe. And yeah, that's what you expect to see. Like at the end where he has all those devil worshippers and he just takes them all out with one single chain whip, and they're all those politicians and businessmen and stuff.
Yeah. What's crazy is this movie budgeted $75 million. It made $132 million. So it was profitable.
Worldwide or
I believe that might have been worldwide, which is not great for worldwide, but I
mean, for 2007, that's probably pretty good, pretty damn good, right?
Yeah, but like the point is, like,
I'm sorry, for a 2012 comic book movie, right? That's probably pretty good. Because
I mean, Avengers came out that same year, so
its estimated budget was $57 million, but then if you add the advertising, and the cumulative worldwide was 132.
Yeah,
it grossed 51 in the U.S.
Yeah. Nicolas Cage was paid approximately 12 to 20 million for the first movie.
Okay. I bring the facts so that we can move to the next thing. You don't have to keep Googling things right now. Hold on a second.
Hold on, let me Google something.
The point I was trying to make is,
what's your point?
There very well could have been a sequel.
Yeah,
like there was a business, excuse for it. There could have been.
Yeah.
So it's really just that Nick Cage dipped out, and then they just decided. But I think it's pretty funny that Sony just let the rights to this one lapse. They didn't even try to do another thing. I guess this wasn't making the money it wasn't making Spider-Man money, that's for sure.
They're like, we gotta go make Spider-Man money again, and then they tried.
Yeah.
Well,
That
it's
didn't work
one of
either.
those. It's something though that I was thinking of is that really back then Ghost Rider was way more popular in the late '90s and early aughts than he is now. Like where's Ghost Rider now in the comics? How many
in space.
In space.
In space.
Yeah, there's
Space.
like one
And he's awesome.
Ghost Rider comic, but back then
he's
they had a
Castle,
number
right?
of them.
What?
Wait,
know,
back then?
I'm just
Oh yeah.
back then they had more than one Ghost Rider. I mean, they had
You're
Ghost Rider,
right.
they had Spirit of Vengeance, they had.
You're right.
I mean, he was more popular back then than he is now. So the demand, I would say, like part of me would say the demand is not as big, and yet the Ghost Rider episodes were by far the most watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episodes.
Mm.
And he was also in the like Fantastic Four cartoons, and like wasn't he in the Spider-Man cartoon, the '90s Spider-Man cartoon?
Yeah,
Who
those
wasn't?
are pretty cool. Yeah, who wasn't?
yeah.
I was in that. I think Ricky was too.
Yeah.
No, but they also had like I think there was a high demand for like kind of demonic stuff back in those times because like Spawn was super popular in like the late '90s and stuff like that, and things
Gotta
like
check the
things that had that.
boxes.
Yeah,
Chains,
yeah, do you have
leather,
chains? Are you
fire.
undead? Okay, cool. You're in. Yeah. Do you work for the devil? You're in. You're not going to play well in the Chinese market, but you'll do well.
Yeah.
Here.
That's probably why I didn't do well worldwide. And that's maybe why they decided not to go forward with a third one.
Yeah.
Because I would have liked to have seen them just continue, because like I really enjoyed this movie for what it is, which is just like I went to go watch Ghost Rider kill bad guys and do badass Ghost Rider things, and I got everything I wanted. Plus I got the weird, like I didn't expect the weird head tilt, but I kind of liked it, like I kind of I liked the agony that he was going through when he was trying to hold the demon back, like I liked everything he was serving up for me. Like it was fun. I like the whispering voice that he used, for Ghost Rider. I don't remember him doing that in the first one.
No, I don't remember either. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think he really enjoyed being both Johnny Blaze and Ghost Rider. And I think that really brought out a lot of it in him.
I think he was really bummed that he didn't get the reception that he wanted. Like definitely at Comic-Con, he was pretty upset. Like when nobody really cheered. He's all like, and I'm gonna play Ghost Rider this time, not just the stuntman. And everyone's all like,
yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. No, I could see. Yeah. But what do you think, guys? This movie was written by David S. Goyer. This is the same man that wrote the Blade trilogy and the Dark Knight trilogy.
There's a lot of parallel. One of my comments was like, I like the religious tech angle, which I guess kind of they play in Blade as well. The Blade tech angle with the monks at the beginning. They're like tech monks.
I think they're just kind of going for like a Da Vinci Code vibe kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's literally what Nick Cage said was they were hoping to have like that kind of pull off of that zeitgeist, of Da Vinci Code popularity.
Which was 2006. So it was kind of in line.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very common
guns
theme.
and wine.
Yeah, exactly.
It was fun.
Well,
like
what would you? I'm trying to think of this. Actually, Clarke, why don't you ask a question? Because I want to.
I have a little favorite part of this. Like the first Ghost Rider, I had a lot of issues, but I have one part that I loved, which is when they were getting to. When they mounted up and they started writing, and it had the electric guitar version of Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Yeah.
And like that was pumping. That was really cool in the first one.
Was he with Sam Elliott, right?
Sam Elliott.
Yeah, riding together.
Like
that was
like
really
that
cool.
scene was awesome. So the second movie, I'm watching it, and it has a few of these gems. Of course, there's when the giant excavator bursts into flames is so cool. There, I knew you had a picture of that.
Easily one of my favorite parts of that movie.
But what my favorite little mini part happened when Blackout is trying to eat food, and he's grabbing an apple, and everything is decaying in his hand until it gets to the Twinkie, and the Twinkie doesn't decay, which is just a little dig on Twinkies. And I just thought it was hilarious that they put in
the PP.
They had to put in the Twinkie dig. That Twinkies will never decay.
Wasn't it that he was holding it because it was in the plastic? He squished it out of the plastic.
It was in the wrapper first. Yeah. Yeah, it
So
wasn't
it's the plastic doesn't decay.
Yeah, well, he squeezed it. Come on, guys, don't take my moment.
I'm not.
Don't
I'm
take
not
this from
trying.
me.
I'm not
ruining your
trying
moment.
to-
He still
but
touched
Frank
it
is
with
taking-
his lips, and it stayed as twinky as he was chewing.
How does that guy even eat? Like,
I did
how does,
like
how
the
does the
effect.
truck not decay?
That was
How does his clothes not decay? Like, I don't understand.
I know.
There
What's
was
worthy
his
of
clothes
decay?
were decaying. I thought there was some really good attention to detail to a lot of decay that was going on. Like
Not as much as that. Well, that apple decayed quick. His clothes.
No, I know, but like materials like that aren't edible and stuff are going to decay a little slower and stuff. But like it was really cool when I think it's when he brought them in. I think it was he brought Danny in tied up, and there was actually like decay on the straps that he used to.
I noticed that too.
Yeah,
and he was pulling his hands off the things like really quick too.
Yeah. He was trying to learn his own power. That was a really cool effect through the whole movie. There was so many cool effects. I know, Ricky, you showed the pea fire effect. I actually loved it just because it fit the context of the scene, which is he was trying to cheer that kid up who's being chased by freaking devil worshippers and stuff, and he told him what the kid asked, like what's it like when you pee? I mean, he could have just said, I'm not going to talk about that, but no, he went in on it, and then they went all in on it by showing
posed.
Us what
he hella posed. He's all whoosh.
Yeah, and so
what is going on under Ghost Rider's suit? Is there a body or is he full skeleton?
They show skeleton. He has skeleton hands. He takes his gloves off in the movie. He has skeleton hands.
The ghost of Christmas yet to come.
He's a full skeleton.
He's full skeleton, and so the peeing is just him peeing.
I mean, are you upset that he doesn't have a bladder? Like
you're asking if he has a dong, is what you're asking.
I mean, I was like 2 questions away, but yes.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to, for the sake of getting this show to end on time.
He has an ethereal bladder where he pees.
Yes.
I want to answer Sea Cow Soda's question real quick.
Let's put it up there. Did they do any chains and leather antihero crossovers like Punisher v Ghost Rider v Venom type stuff? The answer is definitively yes, all the time.
Yeah, no. There's one in particular, 1993, Spirits of Venom. I actually just read that, and it's Ghost Rider v Johnny Blaze v Hobgoblin v Venom, and it's bonkers crazy. Yeah, it's cool.
Nice.
But I would like one to be called Chains and Leather Antiheroes crossover. That tells you everything you want to know.
As a reminder, the current Ghost Rider is the Punisher. Yeah. So, like, there's your crossover as well. Like, they just it's Marvel's got a handful of these characters that they like to use excessively, and
there's a lot of people that just kind of go together like really well.
And I do like the Marvel Knights label that they put for that. These are characters that are a little more.
I wanted to bring
a little more mature and stuff. Yeah.
I appreciate that they have these characters, but I would be okay with them being guest characters in other Marvel stories, like Robbie was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because I'd rather have the Ghost Rider make an appearance in somebody else's movie than be a Ghost Rider trilogy. I don't think he needs a trilogy, honestly. No. What were you going to say, Frank?
I was going to just talk about Events comic. That's how Marvel Knights started off. It wasn't like it didn't start off like the more mature labels. It didn't do that till like 2006-ish.
Yeah.
When it started getting edgy, and when they did like Spider-Man Reign and all that stuff like that. But like
they
originally
clearly took a collection of their heroes and put them under the Marvel Knights label.
Yeah,
It
seemed like they wanted to do that like back in the mid 2000s because they had the plans for like they had the plans for a Punisher, right? And didn't they have early plans for like Inhumans or something like that too? I'm pretty sure they had
But the MCU? Oh yeah.
Well, the MCU before we knew it before it was the MCU. They had a ton of they had a lot of dreams, a lot of big dreams that they never realized. I think Iron Man ruined everything. Iron Man
just too good.
Iron Man in the wrong direction.
We could have gotten other movies.
Seriously, yeah, we could have gotten like David Hasselhoff playing Black Panther in a movie.
He already played Nick Fury.
Oh yeah, that's right. We already played Nick. Oh man, we gotta watch that movie. That should be the next movie we watch.
I was gonna say honestly, like I know I set a restriction on us last time, which was Like, let's only watch post-Blade movies because the ones pre-Blade are so much worse. But I am down to watch a Howard the Duck if you guys really want to watch.
I got that. I got that on Blu-ray.
If I have a feeling Ricky's never seen that movie.
I've never seen it. I've seen the boob.
Oh my god! Don't spoil.
I know spoilers.
Yeah,
I have a feeling Ricky's not gonna like it. I don't think he's gonna like the humor in it. Like,
I think that's okay. He didn't like this one either, so
that's fair. But he did like you like Blade though, right?
Visual. I like Blade.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like this too. Like, I just didn't like the Nick Cage. But luckily, when Ghost Rider, you don't see Nick Cage.
You like?
You see Nick Cage?
Yeah, you see Nick Cage. What are you talking about?
You see his movement. You don't see Nick Cage.
It's literally Nick Cage.
It's totally his movements. Like, watch like Mandy and Wicker Man and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I know.
Watch
I acknowledge that.
Watch the memes where he like wigs out and stuff. Like,
he has those like sticking his elbows in, like what?
Yeah.
He was 100%.
He was my favorite part of the whole movie, man. Like, he said, you know what? I get a second chance to do this movie. I'm gonna do it totally different than last time.
Yep.
And like, you've never seen that in a sequel to a freaking superhero movie. You don't get an actor just pulling a hard left and doing completely different things with the character. So I appreciated that he said.
I would argue Drax is a very different character from Guardians 1 and 2. But.
Yeah, and you would fail that argument because they're the same freaking character. There's a consistency. Growth is different from completely left turning.
Drax is a complete buffoon in the second Guardians movie.
That's an interesting.
No, he's not.
Because I've kind of dabbled in that thought, but myself. I have to rewatch it. I think
he's not a buffoon.
I've dabbled in those thoughts because he would joke more about, like, he'd make more bodily jokes like my nipples are sensitive and stuff like that.
Drax has a family in the second movie. He didn't have a family in the first movie. You know what I mean?
Wait, what?
So I'm saying, like,
my derailing duties have been.
Yeah, that's I'm fine to let that one derail because it's so bogus. It was so easy to say no to that one. But I'm saying, Nick Cage tried something, and unfortunately, people didn't like it. I loved it when I saw it in theaters, and I was shocked how much I still loved it this week, watching it again. I will definitely add this one to my top list of guilty pleasures and I only feel guilty because apparently everybody else hates this movie, and I don't see what there is to hate other than Danny is not a very good actor at all.
I think it's more that the actors didn't take it seriously. If you go into the movie not taking it seriously, you'll probably be fine. It depends on your level of seriousness when you watch it. Like when I first watched it, I was kind of pissed. I'm like, this is
again,
dumb.
I highly recommend if you can watch some behind the scenes footage. You'll appreciate the movie more because it's just as entertaining watching how they filmed this. I mean, literally on rollerblades, going as fast. Like, this wasn't like the little 20-mile-per-hour motorcycles. I mean, they were speeding down this end, like life-threatening camera shots, and that you see.
Those motorcycle tricks when they're actually doing stunts with Danny on the bike. That was the third Danny because the first two died doing those stunts. It was pretty nuts.
Yeah, he's not wearing a helmet anytime he's on.
Nobody's wearing a helmet. I was
no one's wearing a helmet, man.
A helmet, guys.
No one. Yeah.
One of the things that I did like was the recap graphics when they recapped the first movie. They didn't bother showing too many scenes in the first movie.
I don't think they even used Nick Cage.
They didn't even use Peter Fonda, did they? No, they didn't. Okay, but they did this crazy animation thing, and I was mentioning how I just played God of War 3, and whenever they referenced the first two games, they didn't show graphics from the first two games and make it look all crappy. They stylized it. They made different graphics that were really
theme of the new movie, right? Yeah,
exactly.
And I think Goyer was really, really set on. There's actually a quote from him because he was doing the press tour and telling everybody beforehand. This story picks up 8 years after the first film. You don't have to see the first film. It doesn't contradict anything that happened in the first film, but we're pretending that our audience hasn't seen the first film. So that was kind of why they felt the need to have that really nice, summary of his origin just right there at the beginning of the story. And I honestly, when I see this movie, I wish it was the first Ghost Rider movie because I think if it was the first one, people would have been a lot more forgiving of this movie.
Oh, totally,
You know what I mean?
totally.
I don't,
like
not in that time. I don't think if it was the first Ghost Rider in 2007, if this movie magically was just transported through time,
sure.
2007, yes,
This would have been our Dark Knight.
Yeah,
but I don't think in a post Iron Man world that this movie really works. Overly works.
This is in a post Dark Knight world, written by the guy who wrote
Dark Knight. Yeah, okay, I got it.
Well, he wasn't the only writer on this film.
No,
he is
I know,
one of the
I know.
writers.
Yeah, but he's the most famous one credited.
Right.
Silver Surfer Requiem also was a Marvel Knight. I forgot that it was under the Marvel Knights label.
See, that's why one of the reasons.
And that's our show, guys.
And that's our show, guys. Silver Surfer. You can watch TV on his abs, like in the second Fantastic Four movie. He gets all the cable channels.
God, I forgot about that.
Do you guys have any closing thoughts on Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance before we wrap this up tonight?
I would like to see like another on screen. I feel like we'll get it at some point. Another crack at it. I think this visually,
in the Riderverse.
Visually, this was a good Ghost Rider. Like I like everything about the look, the practical, the grittiness to him. So I would hope if anything carries over to another film, it would be that.
That'd be cool.
I like the boiling effect on his shoulders too.
Yep.
Yeah.
The bubbling. Yeah.
I'm glad you picked this because I'm like you. I will defend it. Not for. I will defend it just for what it is. It's a guilty pleasure, and there's again, as I said, there's way more talent behind here than you really see.
Yeah.
Scraping at the door.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good Nick Cage, Frank. You kind of look like him too.
I do my best. It's the forehead, really.
It is.
I really want to play Superman, though.
Yeah. What are your closing thoughts on Ghost Rider, though?
Closing thoughts on Ghost Rider. I like the fact that he's all like, "Hey, can I get morphine or drugs?" And she's all like, "No, you can't have any drugs. But I'm gonna leave you in this room full of drugs. Gotta go."
That's
and that sums
that's what
up
free universal healthcare looks like.
That sums up my movie experience with this.
Nice. Well, I think we'll probably continue talking about this show in our post show, the Soapbox, which is on patreon.com/DenXmedia. Media. We'll be on there in a few minutes.
Yep.
But I just want to thank everybody who joined in for our free live show. We have fun talking nerdy, even when you guys don't have anything you want to say to us particularly. We'll still do it anyways because it's fun for us to get together and just talk about this stuff. So I want to say thank you to everyone who did tune in to listen to us. I also want to thank Clarke for joining us. Clarke, if you have anywhere that you would like the audience to find you, why don't you let them know right now?
If you can find me on SoundCloud at Cranewave, I record poetry and put it to music, and I enjoy it there. So on SoundCloud, look for Cranewave.
Cool. And then I think that's all we got for this show. Obviously, Frank, you tell them what to do.
Yep. Be sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, ring that bell, grab that gem, tickle my.
And thanks for watching Dan Excelsior.
Yeah.